Hey guys, Dave Toko here in today's video. I want to briefly talk about some new information and pretty much an overview of the information that we do have on Kamen or Grand Zio. And if you're not that caught up, Grand Zio is going to make his debut in the next episode of Zio, so I really wanted to make an overview of this because the new magazine scans were leaked as well as the toy of the Rider Watch that Zio is going to be using. So let's get started. So the Grand Zio Rider Watch is actually pretty cool because it actually does feature only Zio in the front. And this is kind of like a theme in the show that all of Zio's forms all have the Zio symbol on their helmet and it doesn't really change. The only time it does change for Zio is when a rider armor is equipped. As well as that, the rider watch itself really does look cool and I think it's one of the bigger rider watches in the show and even in the toy line. And if you look at the design of the Grand Zio Rider Watch, there's even like small clocks around the sides of the Rider Watch. And the gold on the Rider Watch really does look cool, and it does signify that this is the final Rider Watch, and it's the final form that Zio's going to be getting the show. And I really do dig that. And this next image here kind of shows us the Rider Watch when it's activated. And it kind of pops out, and it shows all the riders from Kuga to build. And it really does look awesome from the visual appeal to it. And something as well that I really did expect is that the rider watch is going to be a bit big because it features all the riders, but they were able to manage it in a size that I thought that would have been something to the size of the Zio Trinity rider watch or the Decade rider watch, but the size really does fit for a rider watch, and it still doesn't lose appeal that this is the final rider watch that Zio's going to be getting. Next, we're going to be looking at some new magazine scans that feature Grand Zio. And it's mostly gonna be based on the Zio stuff or the Grand Zio stuff that's gonna be in the magazine scans. So the first panel here kind of shows us Grand Zio in the shot as well as Sogo using the Rider Watch. And it does really look cool and the gold really does kind of remind me of Hyper Muteki. But not to the degree of it really is reference to Hyper Muteki, but it stands alone in my opinion. It does really look cool. Next we see it in some sort of the Gundam Rising game that's in Japan. And up top, or like a top view of the suit, it looks kind of bulky, and it somewhat reminds me of Muteki again, but it still looks cool. Next here, we actually see it in a rider kick stance, as well as the toy version, which in my opinion does really capture the image of Grand Zio in my opinion, but it's missing a lot of paint as to be expected because it's a toy, but overall it does really look cool. Next, we actually see all the riders or the rider armors that Zio actually used in the show, plus the Decade armor and the various final form times we do see him use throughout the show, as well as Zio 2 and Zio Trinity. It really does look cool and base Zio. So the suit here really does really strike me as a form that would fight against Omazeo, and I'm kind of really hoping that they will. And it is kind of inevitable because of what Zio said in the beginning of, collecting the different rider watches for the purpose of matching to Omazeo's power. And this does really look cool, and it is, in my opinion, a good send-off to the final forms. And it's actually going to be the final form, or the final form that we're going to see in show in the Heisei era, because after this, it's going to be the Reiwa era. Next, we actually see a bunch of the rider watches in one page, as well as the Grand Zio rider watch. And if you haven't yet seen the brand new preview for his Kamen Zio, it does feature Grand Zio as well as another Den-O, which I thought they wouldn't use again because it was used in the Forever movie, but still, it still looks great here. And we do see Zio actually fighting with the Grand Zio powers, and it does really look cool, and he's actually fighting another Den-O, and he's actually using two weapons that aren't really native to the Zio season, and it's both weapons of Kamen Rider Kuga and Build, which really does make me think that we're possibly going to be seeing Zio use these two weapons, or even more of the Heisei weapons, throughout the transformation of Grand Zio. And it also looks like that Zio will be able to summon riders to his aid, similar to DN's ability to summon different riders using the rider cards in Decade. But it looks like he'll be able to do this with the Grand Zio Rider Watch, which really does make me excited that they're going to be bringing back various riders. And I'm expecting these riders that get summoned by Grand Zio to just be kind of voiceovers just with their grunts and attacks, because I don't think Toei has the time to really give each of these riders their original personalities that are in their show, which is kind of a shame, but still I get it why. And the suit itself really does signify this is the final form of Zio, and the gold here is actually a real cool color. But I originally thought that the suit is gonna be a bit cluttered because of the trophies, but the trophies themselves really don't look that out of place once you see it in the full suit, and it gives you the same kind of vibe as you get with Ghost Grateful. But I think it's used a lot better here because it actually does show the riders in their various poses throughout the show or throughout the Heisei era. And this next scan here really does make me excited for the next episode of Zio because of the different prospects this suit and this power might have, because we do see it possibly being able to summon every main rider in the Heisei era, as well as their different transformations and forms. And we do see it's not only limited to their base forms, even up until their final forms with Build, we can actually see here with Genius, as well as different transformations. We can actually do see that with Kuga and O's, and even in obscure transformations like Gaim's Melon Arms. And this is just insane to think about how many riders will be able to see in show, and their various suits in show as well, because of this transformation and gimmick that it has.